You'll be right. Tough as nails. That kid thinks he's me. He's fucking rocker.
Yeah.
No, he's going all right. He's going good. He does think he's tough as nails, though, which is kind of cute. Oh, yeah.
That's a backdrop, isn't it?
Looks pretty backdroppy to me.
Is he? It'll do.
It'll do for the start.
All the messages in there that we need to.
Yeah, there's certainly fair and reasonable messages. Rightio. It is now 7:30.
Oh,
I wish my collars do that.
we snappy dress. Look at me on the.
Oh, look, that's right. That's right. I'm a very fancy fellow.
Okay.
Part of the local gentry.
Good evening.
Good evening, good sir, and good evening, watchers and
Good evening,
listeners.
viewers.
Good evening, viewers, audience, supporters, fans, and enemies alike. Who watch
There'd be
the
some
program.
enemies, some enemies. There'd be some enemies out there, I'm sure of it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dean and Nerve Spin Doctors.
Mm.
I think we put it down as episode 35. We did have another seat here for a potential special guest.
Very special.
Very special. But he's not here. No show. No show. We give him the opportunity and he no showed.
No, he's got my number.
He's got my number too.
Mm.
No, he's brave enough to ring it after his previous amounts of carry on, but anywho,
Anyway,
ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard as usual for our Thursday nights here at not TEMFM.
yes, here
Well,
it's not to
Here there is no devil worshippers, there is no
cheaters,
no lawyers,
backsliders.
no backsliders, no nefarious activities.
But however, glory to South Sydney.
No, fuck South Sydney.
Glory to South Sydney, who finished what last?
I don't know. I haven't been a big rugby league fan
Anyway,
since the Steelers went out of the competition. And
our friend Ribbo is that deluded that he said glory to South Sydney. And I think they might have come last. Anyway,
I'm pretty sure he could have done. My only interest these days in rugby league, really, other than my kid having a bit of an interest, of course, is the shareholding that I have in the Brisbane Broncos.
You
know, that's
well,
it.
Which on the up.
That's on the up. It did actually went up quite a few.
Lots of
dollars
things
the
have
other
gone
day. It's interesting.
Lots of things have gone up in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, very interesting. And
a
our
few
good
things
friend.
that people wanted to go down didn't.
Oh, okay.
Well, a lot of homeowners probably.
Oh well, yeah.
Feeling some pain. Would have liked to have seen the interest rates go down, but they didn't.
Well, but it's all right because Albo's going to give away a deposit now, and fucking life will be good apparently.
As of the 1st of October.
That guy's a potato. And our good friend,
and
our good friend Andrew Thaler's in the comments saying good evening. So evening, Andrew.
Yeah, good.
Always a pleasure. Good to see you, mate.
My name's Anthony Irvine. I'm a councillor on Temora Shire Council, but none of the views I express here are those of Temora Shire Council. They're mine and mine alone.
And I'm Dean McRae, and I'm pretty well still answerable to nobody, thank goodness, other than, of course, truth, honesty, and trying to do things the right way in the face of adversity, as things seem to go on
lots
occasion.
Of adversity around.
Yeah. People like to take shots, but
we
anyway.
should export some adversity.
Well, we're busy importing all sorts of shit.
I suppose my disclaimer should also mention that I'm a candidate in the upcoming
state election.
Yeah, representative.
This will be your first time at a state level having a crack too. It'll be good fun.
Oh well, there's a lot of things to talk about.
Well, and look,
a lot of stuff not getting done.
Now, a lot of people over the years have said to me when I've thrown my hat in those sort of rings. Obviously, anybody who knows me knows I have no political ambition per se. I just like to make our country better. I like to see our country not on a massive downward trajectory, which means that people like me who go, hang on, that's bullshit, you've either got to put up or shut up at some point. But I've never done it with the inclination to get elected per se. But it does change the positioning of the argument when you're actually on the stage putting forward your points, your views, your reasoning, then just being in the audience going, I think this, or being down at the local pub going,
blah, 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 blah. Listen to me. I'm really important, but I won't put my hat in the ring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I'm happy to run my trap and say, I think I've got some of the best ideas for improving the country and blah, blah, blah. And I'm happy enough to put my face on a flyer and allow half the country to try and shoot it off, which, let's be fair, as you know,
Happens.
It certainly happens. And we got a few more. Yes, thanks, Andrew, on the new baby. Lisa will be thrilled. I just got a photo from them saying we're watching. And everybody knows that I'm now in love without looking into a mirror, which is very unusual for me. That's usually the only time it happens. And don't get it twisted. Obviously, I've got Ryder as well. It's just different expectations for boys to girls as far as I'm concerned, because I am a bit of a sexist bastard in some ways. And I keep saying to Ryder, mate, the rules for boys are different. The expectations are different. Little girls,
Everything other than the human experience is a pretty sexist world.
I've just accepted the fact that
Hmm.
I'm a sexist feminist, because I don't have a problem with chicks running businesses. I don't have a problem with them taking over the world. I do have a problem with them doing that and then screaming victim. You can't have it both ways.
I think millions of years of evolution have created a situation whereby, in order to propagate the human race,
Pardon me.
nature has allocated some roles. If people want to swap roles
Sure.
and they understand what those roles are, well, that's okay, as long as they fully understand what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's been my take with it. I don't turn around and say women shouldn't work. Every now and then I'll jokingly say they should never have been allowed to vote, or they shouldn't be allowed to work.
But that's only a joke.
That's in jest,
Yes,
you know.
that's a joke.
I say that usually while smiling at whichever lady is in my periphery, going hee hee hee, knowing that it'll stir them up and they'll call me a bastard. And that's called banter. Used to be called banter.
Or
Now
foreplay.
foreplay depends on the room you're in, of course.
Yes.
But you know, the world we live in, apparently that's offensive to a certain amount of people. And well, as usual, I'm not overly interested in following the masses. I'm not. I really don't care.
No, you're exactly right. Now, you might be aware, you might not. Michael Axarian, the uber criminal, who
Yes.
posted he didn't post, he actually produced a poster, and he put it in the front window of his Fitzmaurice Street business in Wagga Wagga in the lead up to the last federal election. And in that poster, he portrayed Peter Dutton,
Gina Reinhardt.
Michael McCormick, and Clive Palmer in World War II German army uniforms.
Yeah.
And Michael had a message he was trying to get across, and it's up to the viewing public to decide what that message may or may not have been. Michael fell foul of the law, and initially New South Wales Police said there's no crime, no foul, nothing to answer here. But on very, 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 very close inspection,
Very close.
they decided that there was something to a crime to answer to. So they charged Mr. Axarian with knowingly displayed Nazi insignia.
Mm.
Now, the only problem is, of course, that Mr. Axarian
Didn't.
Well, he didn't knowingly display it.
Right.
There is some possibility that there may have been a image that could be construed as a Nazi image contained within that artwork at the level of being black on black.
Right.
That even Mr. Axarian, the creator of the artwork, didn't realise was even existing within the artwork.
Yeah, right.
That said, it was heard at Wagga Local Court on Monday. The prosecution put in submissions. Mr. Axarian put in submissions. They've now withdrawn to consider those submissions, and I think the key to consider here is the fact that the law states knowingly.
Yeah.
Knowingly displaying Nazi insignia. Now, Nazi symbols, I think the term is, but it'll be very difficult to prove that Mr. Axarian actually intended to do so when it'd take a a forensic examination of the actual poster to find the offending image.
Yeah, right.
And also, it's very difficult to, what would you say? It's been reproduced in the Daily Advertiser. It's been reproduced on ABC. It's been reproduced in multiple other publications. This offensive artwork.
Yeah. So if he's guilty of displaying it, they're all guilty.
If they find him guilty, then pretty much they're going to have to leave the courtroom that day and go and arrest. And even
well, yeah, we've had it up here, so they better come on down.
Well, I put a picture up that was on ABC.
So they'll have to get ABC on their way to come in to collect us.
Of the offensive artwork.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone who displayed the artwork knowingly displayed it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't think Mr. Agzarian's got too much to worry about.
In a world, though, where you tread on toes. Now, I think we had a look at some of Mr. Agzarian's art, and I don't know this bloke. I couldn't pick him out of a police lineup. Wouldn't know him to look at him. From some of the things that I've seen that he's created and posted, I suspect politically we have nothing in common. Nothing. Would be hard pressed to find 20%. I'm imagining this is the 20%, whereby I'm going, hang on a minute, this seems like a bit of bullshit. If Michael, and let's all be realistic here, Michael McCormack, the Mr. what's his name? I think we called him or something similar, is so butthurt by the fact that a bloke made arguably a mockery of them using
Hogan's
Heroes. Hogan's Heroes images. One, mate, you're on what, 300 grand a year of taxpayer money. Toughen the fuck up.
Well, the thing is,
you're the minute you're
no, but would the police's expenditure been better off if they had have gone around to Michael's and taken some ice bobos and a cup of tea
and
sat there and said, Michael,
you're being a dickhead, stop it.
We understand that you're hurt.
Yes.
We understand that you're crying.
Here's Dean's stuff.
Here's some tissue.
Give him
Here's a box of tissues.
Fuck.
Here's some ice bobos. Here's a cup of tea, love. It'll be okay.
Well, that would have been better taxpayer money spent, but then
because by bringing light to this matter, now it just extends the pain forever after.
But there is no pain, because if you're so sensitive that you can't deal with, I mean, fuck the amount of things people have done over me over the years, and I haven't taken a taxpayer dollar.
Well, I've had lots of things done to me.
You've had quite a few as well. And if you're going to cry like a little bitch every time somebody does something like that, and then put the dogs of war onto them, who technically, I suppose, in some way, shape or form go, oh, he's a minister, we better go and do his bidding. And I believe he's got a son who's also a police officer. I'm not sure if he's still enlisted or whether certain legal troubles of his own have removed him from the force. But what I do know is, waste of taxpayer time. Police should have basically said, fuck off.
Well, they did the first instance.
Yeah, and then for some reason,
when they went back and looked really,
any mere mortal, we the people, the average Joes, the punters who don't have this sort of bullshit protection for their feelings,
or the time and the energy.
But how long before we end up as bad as the UK, where people are getting arrested for flying the national flag?
Oh, that's not far off here.
That's not far off here at all. Don't you worry. They're gunning for us right now.
If you fly the Australian flag in Australia, you're viewed as a right wing.
I accepted that the other week. I've just had to say it. Apparently I'm right wing now, because I do think that the Australian flag is the only flag that should be flown in this country, and the only secondary possibility that's up for discussion is the Indigenous flag. All other flags can fuck right off, I'll say it here. Now, I'm not saying you can't have a fun flag. I've got a boxing kangaroo flag, which is fun, but that's not for replacing flags.
It's not gen pop. It's not for general consumption. It's just, this is the flag, the one flag.
Yes. This is our flag. This is the national flag. You know, now, if we wanted to get right into it, I could even be put up to an argument to, in some way, shape or form, incorporate the Indigenous flag into the Australian flag. Now, a few of my more conservative friends' heads just exploded, but I could see value in that from that perspective. I can't see
Well,
any
being
value in
a-
a Palestinian
being
fucking flag.
but being potentially of ex-convict stock, and knowing who sent you to these bright shores, and knowing the legal system and
Fuck.
the provenance of where we've originated from, I can, you know,
I can have some understanding in that corner. What I can't have understanding for is
where do
your
you see,
Israel,
where do you,
your Israel flag
Pardon?
is as unwelcome as your Palestinian
open
flag.
a can of worms here, because I'm interested to know what are your views on a republic?
Okay, a couple of things. I like the idea.
Hmm.
I'll tell you what concerns me about the idea is in this country, the people who've been pushing extremely hard for a republic are extreme fucking communists.
Yes,
That's what scares me
Yes.
about the concept of a republic.
yes.
I like the idea of.
If a republic was the result of a civil war against an oppressive, not a civil war, a war of independence,
A war of independence, yeah.
because that was a different war.
Yeah.
I was just trying to take a leaf out of the American experience.
For sure. Yeah.
The Constitution that they live under, and
Well, our constitution could be redone,
Mm.
you know.
so the American
Pardon me.
nation fought to crawl out from underneath the oppressive boot of the British rule. And at that point in time, they drafted a constitution. Now,
First, they made a declaration of independence, and they
Yes.
said, by the way, if you come here, we're going to fucking shoot you.
yes,
Fair.
Mm.
Fair. We don't seem to have that sort of spine happening at the moment.
no, because we've come from different.
We were different, completely different
I don't think they were sent to the Americas as
convicts. No.
convicts, and I don't think they had jails.
Well, I'm sure they would have had some.
No, but I don't think
jails,
I don't think they set up jails to receive the immigrants.
Yeah. I think it was a slightly different setup.
Yeah, I think they went over there to actually forge a.
To build a nation, and
Yes.
Whereas we kind of got lumped here, dumped here.
Lumped
Poor
here,
the
dumped
poor old
here.
black fellas that were here at the time had to deal with us getting lumped and dumped,
Mm,
and with the
mm.
asshole element of which this again. It gets back to where I get really confused when I see Indigenous people fucking screaming for the left wing governments and this bullshit, because they're the type of cockheads that sent the criminals out here in the first place. It was that same oppressive that we rule over you, we're the boss, we do da 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 da. And look, Warren Mundine put it probably the best that I've heard from a black fella is at the moment. These guys they want to have a rebellion, they want to overthrow the government, but they want to know which government form they have to fill out to get the guns so they can overthrow the government. That came from Warren himself, and I went, and that's part of the problem. Is they want to rebel, but they also want that government check, and they've created a really unfortunate cycle that they're in, culturally. And when people break out of it, you get your Warren Mundines, you get your Jacinta Prices, who then get held down by a certain portion, and it creates another layer of division, and then it gets worse, and then around we go again. And the white man did it. Well, hang on a minute. Why are you so motivated to support
There's
Alba?
black fellas that don't like Jacinta and Warren.
No doubt. And there's plenty the other way around too that don't like, because it's that groupthink mentality that we just assume that everybody who's a black fella has to love Jacinta, or they have to love, Briggs the rapper. Either or. But there's quite a lot of people who don't. Either or. I don't just like somebody because they're black or they're white or they're Australian. I like lots of foreigners. Doesn't mean I necessarily want to import 1 million of them into the country.
Well, certainly not at the expense of the country that you know and love.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's the big issue. And I think that's probably the message that's being sent globally to all of the dictators that are running governments that enough's enough. And
they are starting to get pushed back globally, and it's I'm very, very happy to see some of it. Seeing Nigel Farage's numbers in the last 48 hours.
Yeah, and I don't know whether Nigel's going to be the right guy for the job either.
Oh, look, I think he'll be good for a term or two.
Yeah, look,
and that's compared to what we've got.
Harvey is struggling.
He's had a couple of punches in the face lately. I've noticed.
So, if for anyone who's just trying to catch up, that's Harvey in Malay,
Argentina. There's been a few,
and he rode to stardom.
Yeah.
infamy on the back of a very right-wing political campaign.
Oh, well, more libertarian than
Yes.
right wing, but yeah, pretty hard. Like there was certainly no holds barred, and he made it very clear that it was going to be a tough and painful process.
Well, certainly.
Now there's
he
a few
hasn't lied.
pictures happening, yeah, but there's also been a lot of positives that have come out of where it's been as well.
He's relying heavily at the moment on the support of the US Treasury to
help balance the changeover, which he admitted that when he was campaigning.
Yes.
like to his credit, and again, I don't know the
hard with the US.
He has, which is not a bad idea at the moment. I think. But what he did, he so far has done everything that he said he was going to do. And he did say that it would hurt. He didn't come in and say, I'm going to be able to rub a magic wand and in 15 minutes you're all going to be. No, he hasn't. And imagine that.
And it might hurt him.
That's what happens when politicians don't lie. That's why our lot lie their asses off, because people go, oh,
I know it hurts when you don't lie.
People would rather
Yeah. And I suppose that leads into our friend, the big orange guy, Ronald.
Yeah.
So Donald the Ronald,
the big orange fella.
Now
he's doing more right than wrong, as far as I'm concerned.
He's on a
long way off where I would have liked him to have been.
Yeah, he can't seem to get the Ukrainian thing wrapped up.
No.
Which he sort of said he'd do.
He said he'd have that done in short order, and they're sort of getting a bit of pushback there.
And he's put forward a very aggressive and probably fairly pro-Israeli peace solution in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Which was to be expected.
Which, absolutely.
So it'll be interesting to see, and it's pretty much a take it or leave it.
Well,
so anyway, it'll be interesting to see how that'll pan.
As far as places go, and a good friend of mine, Taya Peterson, posted about it today, and I thought it was probably the best take on it. You know, that a certain amount of people in Gaza should be looking at moving. You know, Egypt should be taking over a certain portion of Gaza. Jordan should take in the other portion, and then the rest of it, just forget about it and remove the idea of a Palestinian state. And that's obviously more complicated than it sounds. But over the last 20 odd years of trying to create a Palestine, it really hasn't exactly been a beacon of hope, peace, and love. It's been we're here to pillage.
It's been a meat grinder.
It has. It's been horrible.
Yeah, it's been a meat grinder.
Well, I haven't been there, so I don't really care that much. I've said it over and over again. I don't really care what happens in the Middle East on a day-to-day basis. I actually care about what happens in Australia on a day-to-day basis. But when you have a bit of a look at it, I think the argument of turning Gaza or Palestine into a golf course isn't a bad one. It's,
golf courses are pretty civil and peaceful places.
Then the next person's going to go, oh, you Jew lover. I don't fucking love any particular race other than the Australian country. I don't care what nationality anybody is per se. But Israel seems to run a tighter show. Is it riddled with corruption and money pulling strings and whatever?
Israel are committing genocide at the moment, and it's being sanctioned by the world.
Well, I don't know that it's being sanctioned by the world. There's an awful lot in the world who are going, fucking no, stop, don't.
But no one's doing anything to stop it.
No, nobody's doing anything to stop. What does that tell you?
Yes.
On TV, they're stomping their foot. Well, yeah, on TV, they're stomping their little feet. And on Twitter, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But no, nobody's going to do it.
No one's just going in there and just saying, stop this shit. We understand your point of view, but stop.
Look,
FFS, stop.
Is this because they know that the Gaza experiment
They know that they're just absolutely dickless. They know that they've got no pull. They're just another voice in the
crowd. They're about as valuable as Albanese, anywhere.
Yes. So they've got no, and like I say,
but like I opposed, dare I say it, it's a genocide for sure. Benjamin Netanyahu was a fucking gangster.
He is.
And they're his enemies, and his air said, I'm going to wipe these fuckers off.
But also, Netanyahu's under siege in his own country, and basically he's on hold for being prosecuted for other stuff in Israel whilst he's waging war on Palestine.
Yeah.
And as soon as things settle back down,
He's going to have some tough questions to
yeah,
answer.
that's what I mean. Like it's
It's
almost like, whilst ever I'm doing this, you can't get me for that. So I'm going to keep doing this.
and there's an argument for that as well. You know, but you also, and then you do the flip, and you go, of course, now, I don't know how many times publicly I have to say it, just because sometimes some arsehole's going to clip something and whatever. No war is ever good.
No.
No civilians and children should ever be murdered by fucking dickhead politicians who are war hungry. You know,
that's the problem. That's the world we live in. It's such a. There is very little evidence that the human race is evolving.
Well, we're evolving. We're becoming more and more fucking hopeless. But
that's what we're the same destructive, aggressive.
We always will be. That's what humans are.
Yes, exactly.
The only difference between now and then is we can create these social media things where we can pretend we're really, really holier than thou.
No, but even to the point that we just have better bombs and better guns and better knives and better bats.
But then we can get on here and we go, but it's really bad. And I'm a good person because you're a horrible person, because you're a Nazi or you're a homophobic or you're a racist or you're whatever. But I'm a really good person. Yes. Do you know how good a person I am? Because I just made a TikTok video that says I'm wonderful. And we all know that they're full of shit.
Did you had rainbow leggings on?
I would have possibly had rainbow leggings on. That's, why not? Fuck it. I'm going to go on Mardi Gras next year. I'll be on the top float. Be on the top one. I'll be there. So I don't know why they need a parade. They've got marriage and shit now. They can be as miserable as the fucking rest of us. I don't know what you're celebrating. But we're deluded as a society, one, when we think we're better than any other stage in history. We've got more technology for sure. You're 100% correct. Our living standard over the last, certainly in Australia, 80 years has been fucking phenomenal. The Western world in the last 100 years has had a phenomenal living standard.
This is demonstrated purely and most simply if you look at a graph of population across the globe.
Yeah.
And I'd have to double check it, but I think it was about 1.6 billion people were on the planet in 1900.
Yeah.
At the turn of the century, last century.
Yeah, right.
Now they're talking about 8 billion. So we're talking about a 5-fold increase, 5 times more. That's on the back of better food production, better medicine. Obviously, it's a higher standard of living. We've got electricity, we've got the motor car, we've got engines, factories, machines. Is the next phase
a bit of a backslide?
No, well, this is the whole thing. The globe has obviously flourished.
Yes, we're doing very well.
According to humans and according to banks and according to the rich people. I don't know whether the globe has flourished according to nature. And I don't know whether the globe has flourished according to some endangered species or some extinct species. And I don't know whether we actually cared for.
There were dinosaurs on the planet once, long, long ago.
Yes,
and they're all extinct. Certain species just they go. Eventually,
they got extincted.
I don't think we did it.
Word says it was a meteorite.
Was it? You sure? Could have been climate change.
Well, do we even know the idea?
I don't know. I've never seen one. Well, I've seen them on TV.
I've seen them at Kale's Crossing called crocodiles.
Yeah. No. When you look at these things, the world's far better off, I think, than where it was. I think if we're in a position where we can have...
It's a bit like the Australian situation at the moment. Everyone who lives in Australia and knows what we enjoy doesn't want to lose it.
Correct.
And everyone who's got an opinion, they do mean well.
Sure.
But we're coming off this pretty high, but there's certain elements of it that are being destroyed. Like you've only got to drive around the countryside and see the state of the river systems and the natural systems to know that it comes at a cost. You know, pesticides have effects. Industrialization has effects. The introduction of all these chemicals into the landscape have effects.
Yeah.
We've got situations where we've got firefighting chemicals turning up in people's drinking water. And I don't know whether those firefighting chemicals are overly good for your health.
We've just injected 3/4 of the population, probably higher, with
yes.
chemicals that are probably not good for their health.
Yes. Yeah. So there's all this.
Potentially, allegedly.
Yeah. So there's. I think we can do a fair bit better than what we're doing at the moment in terms of health and well-being. And I think a lot of the systems are built around competitive extraction threats, and they're not probably built around sharing and understanding and just those. I don't believe that I don't believe the government is doing the best thing it could by us.
They never will.
Yes.
I
don't believe the global corporate system does the best thing by the consumers. You've only got to go back and you can see all of these instances where people have been exploited and abused, and
that's gone on for the length of human history.
Yes. And I think, and this is the thing. Exactly. And every single person in the world knows that, but yet we continue to do it.
And we will continue to do it long after you and I are dead.
Yes. And no one is smart enough to actually go, hey, how about we just try and do something a little bit better?
Well, you see, they do, and
they more considerate.
They try that, and it comes out. That comes out every couple of years, and it's called communism.
No,
and it's a wonderful theory. It's an amazing theory. We're going to sing kumbaya, and we're going to share everything. Everything's going to be wonderful. Pardon me, hay fever's kicking my ass.
Yeah. But as we said, you know, there's got to be room for everyone to exist, and there's got to be room for the natural environment.
Well,
the thing that really concerns me is we'll find out in years to come all of the answers that we were seeking were already there. We just didn't know. In terms of medicines and cures and yeah. There's stuff in the Amazon forest that they're still discovering today. There's medicinal stuff in all of the natural.
In the natural world, for sure.
In the natural world that this pharmacological global marketplace refuses to acknowledge and refuses to, because it's not monetizable.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. Like this whole concept of consume, buy, consume, spit out the waste, consume, spit out the waste, consume, spit out the waste. It doesn't seem to. What happens when everything's gone?
Well,
what happens when we've eaten everything in the front end and all we've got left is the shit? What happens? You get a big spoon and you go, well, this ain't going to taste good, but we're going to start eating our own shit.
According to the World Economic Forum and their sort of ilk, we need to have a massive population decrease.
Well, we don't.
Well,
the world's proven that.
This is just where we're.
The world's proven that.
That would be their argument. Their argument would be none of this is sustainable. There's too many people. We need to have important people.
And in the meantime, Bill Gates owns. Apparently, Bill Gates owns something.
Bill Gates is a dead shit. He can't even keep viruses out of our computers, yet he wants to fucking
It's one in every
Shows how tackle
4,000 acres
Yeah,
of agricultural land in the US or something.
the guys are dead shit.
Something, but it's a huge holding in agricultural land. For what reason? When he's the one who's trying to develop plastic food.
Of course.
The whole thing.
It's
And
all
it's-
rotten to the core.
It is completely. And I think your head will blow up if you actually start to really consider just how
Corrupt the whole thing is,
But
and how
how-
broken the whole system is.
yes, how broken and how
What do you think
negative and how
What do you think the digital IDs are for? You saw our British mate the other day. I don't know if you've seen it.
That's what I mean. This none of it's actually going to grow beautiful things in humanity.
No,
It's
no.
about control, it's about oppression, it's about
We're just feedlot cattle.
yes.
That's all we are, is we're feedlot cattle. We're here to work and produce until we're told. Till we're
Pay
no
our
longer
tax.
useful, pay tax.
And if there's too many of us,
They don't care if they cull us down a little bit. They can give a shit. That's why they want to import all these lunatics over in here and in the Western world, is because they don't need us. We no longer produce. What does Australia produce?
a lot of gas at this end. and at
We
that
don't
end.
produce anything anymore. So does it really matter if they move a heap of foreigners over here to do whatever the hell they want to do? It doesn't matter.
No,
Are they moving them into Davos at that rate? Probably not. I would imagine not.
no.
You know, I mean, I haven't been to Davos for a little while. I don't get invited to their little meetings.
I'm telling you, they wouldn't be.
But I'd imagine,
Just that was happening at ground level here wouldn't be happening in their streets.
no,
They wouldn't have people.
being hacked up with machetes.
No.
No, I can guarantee that.
Yeah. There was a video that popped up in my media feed of a shootout in the Surrey Hills
Yeah.
late last year.
Who won?
Well, there were two guys turned up and they actually were hunting a guy. They found him, they caught him, and they shot him in a service station
Yeah, right.
in broad daylight. Just like that in Australia.
Yeah, right.
That's the world we live in, and that's the reality of it. Anyway, I don't want to get too depressed on it. They're all big topics that we've just discussed, but
Well, they are big topics, yes.
it came off the back of Malay, Trump,
Well, you're the biggest
Israel,
topics in the world at the moment, and
Ukraine.
and rightly so. So what about?
And are we actually moving towards a better world?
No, God, no. It's going to be the same shit show in 50 years as it is now.
Yes, it's
If not
It's
worse, if we don't
reasonably-
start rattling a few
and
eggs.
this is the whole thing where you actually got to sit back and you go, have we learned anything? No. We've just learned how to make better sticks
Oh.
to hit each other with.
The same argument always comes out.
Hmm.
Communism hasn't been done right, or it's been, everybody who's tried it hasn't. It's been the wrong person leading it.
Yes.
Oh, they did. Yeah, it was the right idea, but they did it wrong, and it's always the same shit. You can pretend to kumbaya your way around, but at the end of the day, power corrupts.
No, at the end of the day, people have to make the absolute choice of doing the best thing for themselves, changing their lifestyles, growing their own food,
Sure,
becoming self-sufficient, and disconnecting from this.
and that works right up until the men with guns come put a gun to your head and say, "Well, you can take the food that you've grown,
Well, that's when you got to throw it.
and you're not allowed to have chickens." You know what
That's when you got to throw eggs.
Well, Scotland at the moment, you've got to register your chickens, I believe. If you want to own backyard chickens in Scotland,
That's when you got to have some
the
hard.
home of Braveheart, they're not allowed to own chickens without the government's permission.
Well, I'm going to relay a story today that annoyed the shit out of me, and I believe it is low-level corruption,
Yeah,
and it's here. It's part of what we do. You'll recall that a couple of months ago we spoke about parking fines being issued and
yes, we did. Yeah,
how eager they were to issue parking fines.
all of a sudden, yes.
Yes. And how out the front of the council offices, all of a sudden there were all these parking spaces.
Yes.
It's almost as though they've been ticked off.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, Temora Shire Council had a tour of the Shire today, organised for the councillors to go and view the most significant projects that are occurring around the Shire.
All right, that sounds very exciting.
Yeah, well, that was only for the people who had nothing to do. For the busy people, they stayed at work.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I don't know how well patronised it was, but I know for sure and certain that there was 2 councillors that attended the tour.
Yeah.
Because I went down to get the newspapers on my way to work this morning, and the mayor's car was parked in a 2-hour parking zone, and another councillor, Councillor Nigel Judd's car, was parked in a 2-hour parking zone. And would you believe, and this is how blatant it is, that's one part of the parking zone. That's the end of the parking zone. So there's a sign there and a sign there. So Councillor Judd's car was parked under one sign at one end, and Councillor Furman's car was parked under another sign at the other end, directly under the signs.
Yeah, right.
2 hours.
Did they get a fine?
I don't know.
You don't know?
But so that was early in the morning. Their cars were there. I think the 2-hour parking comes in at 8:30.
Right.
So by 10:30 they were eligible for a fine.
Yep.
Now I noticed it because I was doing business, dropping customers' cars backwards and forwards, and just running through town, and I took the opportunity, because I can, just to, when I had the opportunity during the day, to swing past. Now at one point there was the Ranger's car was directly parked across the road. Now it's my understanding that the Ranger issues the fines.
Yeah, righto.
But the Ranger obviously didn't have his fine book on him. Well, he may have.
Yeah, right.
And when councillors can park directly under
no parking zones,
a sign that says you can't park here for more than 2 hours, and they're getting, like, the itinerary said, you'll be going here, you'll be going there, you'll be going somewhere else, and you'll be back here at 12:30.
Yeah.
And you park your car there at 8, and you won't be back for 4.5 hours. And the car was still there.
You'd be very concerned about getting a fine, you'd have to imagine.
Well, you wouldn't park there, would you, if you thought you were going to get a fine?
Well, you wouldn't, no.
I wouldn't. Not unless I wanted to just...
Well, I tend to try to avoid burning money if I can, yes.
Yeah, like I wouldn't. And I don't think anyone would in their right mind.
No.
Unless you knew that you weren't going to get a fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, that says no stopping. That says 2-hour parking. And that, believe it or not, is the car of one said councillor. That says no parking. That says 2-hour parking. And that is the car
of other said councillor.
So I'm not making it up. I actually stopped and took
some
photographs.
Evidence. Yeah, of course.
So I'm not shooting from the lip. It sucks. What sort of people flout the law to that extent?
Well,
no, seriously. We've got people, they're quite happy to have fines issued in their name or in the name of Temora Shire Council to other individuals in the community who've breached this 2-hour parking law. Yet they will pull up and park underneath
it's a piss take.
The signs that says you can't park here for more than 2 hours, and get out of those cars knowing they're going to be away from those cars for at least 4 hours.
There is honestly a delusional belief amongst certain members of the hoi polloi.
No, this is the issue.
These people think they are
across the board.
They feel they are better.
They're special.
They are special. They are more worthy. They are
special. Special's the word.
They're special, all right. And the rest of us are here to feather their nests.
The rest of us are here.
Pardon me, guys. Sorry about the hay fever. It's kicking my butt.
They're so important.
I get it every spring. Every spring it kicks the bejesus out of me for a few weeks. And
anyway,
no, all the antihistamines in the world don't do diddly dick.
Shit's nudity.
Yep.
Now,
cool.
If they get a fine, I will say, bravo.
Bravo. Well, we'll never know that unless they're watching tonight and decide to issue themselves fines for being very naughty because they've been called out publicly and then they'll put it in the paper because the paper will run a glowing story about how
But
they owned
everyone
up
else,
to their
look,
sins.
it's not only me. There would have been many other members of the community who would have driven past that today and gone, have a look at these wankers. I'm going to move my car, but they don't have to.
I imagine that's quite possible.
I didn't park there today because I was scared of getting a fine, but they're not scared.
Yes,
They're protected.
they are protected.
That is corruption.
Yes.
That is absolute. That is low-level corruption. Now, low-level corruption equals high-level corruption. Corruption is corruption.
I agree.
If you think you are above the law, if you get treated differently to other people, then that is corrupt conduct. And that is protected by people further up the chain. It's protected
Well,
by...
because they've got to be able to do the same things further up the chain without reprisals either way. That's how it works.
Seriously. I've
Fuck
been
me.
subjected to multiple codes of conduct with massive amounts of different separate charges.
Yes.
Council have
Quite
spent...
frivolous, some of them.
But
From what I
council may
recall.
well have spent up to $100,000 of ratepayers' money on codes of conduct against me
Yes.
for things bringing council into disrepute. Well, if you're parking your car for 4 or 5 hours in a parking spot that says 2 hours, isn't that bringing council into disrepute?
I would have thought so.
Isn't that a code of conduct breach?
Well, if
Haven't you? If you're the mayor of Temora Shire Council and you park your car in a council car park for more than 2 hours, then that's obviously breaching the code of conduct.
we experienced some stuff through the council elections regarding how to vote cards and things like that. What we've got to remember, particularly with the mayor, is and Councillor Judd, because he's fairly new to the game as well.
No,
They just don't know these things. So
No,
they're learning
you're
as they go.
you're being a bit silly.
How would the mayor possibly
being
know
a bit
that a
silly.
2-hour sign meant 2 hours?
Look,
And
if we refer to the dictionary, and I don't want from
pardon me.
the dictionary says, if you type in the word special, it says, as an adjective, it says better, greater, or otherwise different from what is usual. Well, I couldn't think of a more apt description for these individuals.
It's fair to say that possibly neither of them can read. How would they know what the sign says?
Well, if they can't read, look,
maybe they can't read.
Councillor Nigel Judd is an ex-mayor of Temora Shire Council.
Well, how would he know what the sign
He's the longest-serving councillor currently serving in New South Wales.
Well, how would he know what the rules are?
He can't read a parking sign.
Apparently not.
Because he can park his canary yellow Mitsubishi Pajero from 1980.
I had a Holden Jackaroo in a similar colour once upon a time.
Well,
very flash. I liked it.
Anyway, but obviously he thinks that that's his special parking place because he's special.
Well, yes. Yes.
And of course the mayor can park in his special parking place because he's special. But if I talk about that, odds are I'm going to get the code of conduct.
You'll get a code of conduct.
I'll get a code of conduct for actually pointing out that these two councillors want to park in council parking
want to break the rules that they then want to enforce with the other hand. Yes.
Yeah, that's the.
At least when I break the rules, I just break the rules. I certainly don't dictate to other people which rules they can and can't break.
I just find it hypocrisy.
Yes, it works well.
Hypocrisy is the word, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's the word. It's been the word in most countries for many, many years. It's just really part of human nature, unfortunately. Part of human nature, Anthony.
But why do we have to put up with it?
Well, because nobody's brave enough to tar and feather these fuckers, apparently.
But I am. But when I do, I get flogged.
Well, you do get flogged, yes.
They put me in the stocks and they throw tomatoes at me.
You watch when they bring in this digital ID shit and it starts to
Mate,
really crush. It'll be too late. It'll be too late by then, but they're all going to do it.
Everyone.
They will all jump through the hoop and they're going to go, it's okay.
Everyone who thinks I've got a big mouth, everyone who thinks I'm out of line, wait until it happens to you. And then you will squeal like little bitches and it'll be too late.
Well, that's where it's all heading.
Yes. It'll be
And-
too late when it's too late.
You know, did you see Vietnam, I believe,
Yes.
this week? So everybody's had their bank accounts cut off.
Yes.
You will toe the digital ID line and we will own you, or we're not letting you have any of your money. It's our money. It's not yours. So that's
your money.
Have a look at Vietnam's banking calamity at the
But
moment.
there was an
And
Australian person who got denied access to their own funds.
Oh, we've
and
had
a bank teller.
that's happened plenty of times.
A bank teller told them they couldn't possibly withdraw any of their own money
No.
or the significant amount that they requested, even though it's their own money. Anyone who thinks that the money that their phone tells them, the figures that their phone tells them that they've got in this banking system, this electronic banking system that we've got, if they actually think that it's actual real
money,
and they control it, they're delusional.
They're just letting you transact at the moment with agreed upon numbers right up until they go, sorry, no more.
And when they want more, they just create more with the press of a button.
That's exactly it. It's all a complete farce.
Yes, and as we see now, you'll recall 6 months, 12 months ago, I pulled out a silver coin.
Yeah.
And I think at the time they were $50.
Yes.
I think today they were $70.
That doesn't surprise me one bit. Silver's on the climb, gold's on the climb.
Bitcoin's on the climb.
Bitcoin's
Copper's
on the climb. Yeah.
Lead's on the climb. Tin's on the climb.
And actual money's
Coal's
not
on the
worth a
climb.
squirt of gas piss.
No. So everything's on the climb. So that means money's confetti.
Worthless. Yeah. And that's what it is. Where Venezuela type money is where it's heading. But here's what people are going to, and now we're starting to get a few consistent watchers. We're getting a bit of an audience. When we say these things, do your own homework. Always do your own homework. Go and, okay, hang on. Don't just say Dean said that's it. Go and have a bit of a look. Have a look at this. I believe it was 60 Minutes or a Current Affair did a story on the Chinese credit score system. I think it was about 10 years ago they did this because this is where they started this shit. If the government hears you whispering one of these devices or fucking Siri in the wall or whatever, you're saying something that you don't like the government over there, your rent goes up. Your petrol prices go up. Your ability to buy food goes down. That's how much control they have over these people in these provinces where digital ID is already being trial tested and run. Now you can go, that's 60 minutes.
Well, it's obviously at play here because there's some people who can park in 2-hour parking zones for 4 hours or 5 hours or 8 hours.
But this is what's going to happen to you and me, everybody watching. Right? It's going to be like Vietnam. You're going to go to get your bank one day and they're going to say, no, you can't have any money.
Your $10 will be worth 10
Doesn't matter.
cents.
It's going to be irrelevant what it's going to be worth. You're not going to be allowed to have it. And you're going to go, well, I'm fucking hungry. I need to buy food. And they're going to go, no.
But you're not special enough.
They'll go, you've had your rations for the week.
You're not special.
You've had too much steak. You've had your monthly ration of meat. Now you can enjoy the cockroaches that you get to eat. You will be. And people are going to go, oh, bullshit, he's exaggerating. Go and do your homework. There is plenty of evidence out there that this is the direction we are heading.
There's plenty of evidence. There's plenty of evidence in the real estate pages. There's plenty of evidence in the job ads. There's plenty of evidence.
But this is where it's going to be direct. This is where it's going to start crunching everybody. This is when they get you onto this digital ID system. And this isn't, we're not talking
we're
about.
already there.
No. I'm talking about a digital ID system. This means you're not going to have access to diddly dick. They will turn it off. They will turn it on.
They're doing it now.
Yep. And why do you think all the new electricity meters are now?
Yeah, smart meters.
Smart meters. They're there so that when they want it, when you're not towing the line, they're going to cut your fucking power off. When you've used your quota of climate credits, they may give it a different name. When you've used your quota of climate credits, they'll turn your electricity off. Look, and they're not going to give a flying fuck.
The sooner people start to invest in themselves, invest in their own health.
And overthrowing fucking governments.
No. Invest in yourself, invest in your own health. Invest in ways to sustain yourself without the necessity of the machine. Disconnect from the machinery. Disconnect from...
Sure. Which works right up until the men with guns come and say, sorry.
Okay, but at that point in time,
it's too late by then.
Look, that's when you die. okay, up until then, you've run your own race, and everyone else is eating cockroaches while at least you've eaten eggs, bacon and eggs of a morning. You've had fresh milk and bacon and eggs, and you've lived a good life. And fair enough, if in the end they come and shoot you in the head,
Which
well,
they will.
so be it. At least up until that point in time, you've lived your own life.
Well, I'd much rather fight that war now and just tell them to bash that shit fair up their ass.
Look, I'm
I'll
fighting.
forego bacon and eggs for
You
now.
fought the war. You have fought the war. You have spread the word. You have put yourself forward in elections, and people turn their backs on you. They're too stupid to see. And this is where Richard Foley got in trouble. But people are sitting there absolutely getting pineappled every freaking day, and you put forward an alternative and they reject it. So you say, obviously, you've got a close relationship with the pineapples.
Oi,
Seriously, they love the pain.
they do love the pain.
And that's so honestly, I'm not going to waste my time. Seriously, I'm not going to waste my time trying to convince people that are too stupid to help themselves. I'm not that stupid.
I possibly am.
No, I'm not that stupid. But what I am going to do is I'm going to build community with people who aren't that stupid. I'm going to educate myself. I'm going to learn skills. And I'm just going to enjoy my life, and I'm going to enjoy a full life full of positive experiences. And I'm going to avoid as much as I humanly can. Now, that will sound a little bit counterintuitive when I actually go to a council meeting once a month. But even that element of it it's like a purge.
Purge.
It's like a.
So if I'm going to do a purge, it's going to be a proper purge.
Yeah, well, it's like a purge. It's like a mental purge, where you go and all of your common sense goes out the window, and you're subjected to stupidity for an hour and a half to 2 hours, and bad decisions and ridiculousness, and you come out of the room feeling so sensible. At the very least.
Funny.
No, it is.
It is funny. Look, it's
when you. And this is we've spoken about this before. Where the viewing audience would think that when you get 9 people in a room and they sit down and they discuss a matter, that a sensible decision would be arrived at. But no, not if you get a biased report and then the sensible people in the room aren't given the opportunity to speak and they're held down. And then you've just got a heap of sheeple who are basically dictated to by a bunch of people who've got no idea. Then you get really poor decisions. That's how it works.
Pardon me. I don't disagree. But I sat here probably 12 months ago. Oh, look, fuck, I ponder this often, and I've pondered it many, many times.
Are you wasting your time?
Oh, I ponder that all the time. I know everybody in our little sphere of thought often gets a little dejected and a little, fuck, is this even worth it? Why are we bothering?
No, but I think we've got to. It's worth it from my perspective, because I just feel as though there's 2 or 3 people there that matter.
Yeah.
And if I can connect with them through this medium, it's been worthwhile.
I'm just fucked if I'm going to let them have it. I'm fucked if I'm giving them this country. I'm fucked if I'm going to.
But in other ways, you do on a daily basis, because you are part of the machine as well.
We're all part of the machine.
Yes.
Right, but which part?
And you're playing your part.
Oh, look, without a doubt.
You haven't turned your back on it. You haven't gone and forged a different reality.
No.
So whilst you say you are fighting it and you're doing this and you're doing that, you're still engaging with it. And
you still have to some degree engage with it.
This is the whole thing, and it's a bit of a cognitive dissonance that most people have, is they just can't disconnect from it.
Well, I look at the kids and I go, what sort of a world are we going to give you? What state's it going to be in by the time?
Yeah, but you're not. Like, the obvious outcome is to just turn your back on it, go out,
bush.
your flag, and.
Well, there's an element of that too. There's an element of sell everything up and go live like a king in Thailand or wherever.
I don't know whether that works either.
Well, I don't think it would either. I think it'd do my head in.
Well, I just think when they take your money off you
I'll be
at
just
the
as
end of
cranky.
a corrupt policeman's gun, you just feel like you.
I don't think it'd make much difference which country you're in. It's just about what you can live with and what you say. I don't oppose a society. I think a society is a good idea. I also don't think I could go and live on I always say I'd like to go and sit on an island and be left the fuck alone. I'd be bored pretty quick and I'd be pretty miserable pretty quick. There's a lot of stuff to try and fix. There's a lot of broken stuff.
Not on the desert island.
No,
none of it's broken.
Fucking everything over there is lovely.
Balance.
But I don't feel like I could ever be balanced enough to just enjoy being on a desert island. I struggle to have a day off.
Yeah, that's not.
I'm not wired for a peaceful life, I don't think.
Okay, so you're just going to walk into a situation that's in balance and kumbaya and just start shit because
I don't think I'm wired to do that shit.
Yeah, so
I don't think I'm in any way, shape, or form wired for.
So if something was in perfect balance, then you'd have to tip something over.
Yeah.
So you've got something to do.
I'd be absolutely.
Oh, bored. This place is functioning beautifully. Everything's in balance.
Fortunately for a personality like mine, I don't see a lot of functioning in perfect balance. The whole joint's a shit show.
So just be careful. If ever you come across a place that's functioning in perfect balance, I'll
look around and I'll go, right, I'm fucking out of here. I don't think I'm going to fit.
No, I'm best be leaving this alone.
I can't just do calm for the sake of calm. I mean, I like to sit down every now and then and go, fuck, this is quiet. And then within 20 minutes, I'm going, right, what needs to be dealt with? Where can we fix that whole
That's ADHD.
Possibly. I don't know. I think I need doctors, right? There's a portion of my personality that can't just be.
No, that's okay. There's a portion of most people's personality that just can't be. They have to create something. They have to do something. They have to add to their own. They have to experience life.
Yeah.
And that's the creative.
And look, I've got a couple of friends right now who I think they've just got engaged up in Queensland who are dead set fucking hippies.
Good on them.
And they sit up there and all of the stuff on social media. She's fucking at a waterfall and on a fucking hill, and I don't know. She seems pretty happy most of the time.
Well, if she's that happy, she doesn't need social media.
I reckon on the other end of that happiness is a fair amount of I'm just really lost and confused and I don't want to have a fight. I don't want confrontation. I don't want.
Look at me on my social media post. I'm validated. I'm real. I'm human.
I do exist. Yeah. Like I don't need any of this shit because I'm so in harmony with nature. By the way, quick, it's. And, I mean, she's great, but I don't know the bloke she's getting married to. Seems like a nice fella. I don't know him well, but I just don't know how people. I don't think people on the whole are wired that way. They need their confrontation. They need their what's the next hill to climb. They need their ambition. They need their drive. They need their competition.
I think you've just got to go back and look at a bunch of animal studies on chimpanzees to figure out what we need. Seriously, we're about that far removed from the chimps. It's not funny, and that's what we do. And there's a hierarchy, and there's a dominant structure, and there's all sorts of things that go into that. And fundamentally, reproduction's a pretty high on the.
Adam's did a shot. That's the first one they've done all night.
Pretty high on the agenda.
Yep.
So there's a lot of it. That's the problem. I think people have become so disconnected from the natural world that they don't actually realise what it's all about. People can't navigate by the stars. They don't understand the tides. They don't understand the moon. They don't.
The tides, most of them get lost fucking leaving the house.
That's what I mean. And they've lost connection.
Some of these kids get lost leaving their fucking bedroom.
Yes, they've lost connection with the natural world, and they've lost and the further they get away from that natural world, because that's where they originate from. They're natural beings. They're human beings made up of dirt. And when they're finished, they will return to that substance.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't realise I was doing a podcast with a hippie.
No, seriously. And the further people remove themselves from that reality, the more conflict they will find themselves in. It's the same old story as all these people who want to go and live their lives and make all this money, and in the end they turn around and they've got cancer and they've got this, and they go, wow, I'm just human.
Oh, look, everyone's going to end up dead.
Yes.
What's the path that you're going to take to get there?
Yes.
And is it one that you can live with, and is it one you're happy with, and is there any legacy to it? Some people care about.
No.
Some people care about that. Some
Mate,
people don't.
When you're in the ground and the worms are crawling through your head, the worms don't care.
No, they don't.
The worms don't care whether you were, you know, Dean of the McRae's, you know, Freedom of the Shire of Temora and multiple terms as mayor, or whether you were Dean the garbage can lifter.
I think there's different personalities that need a certain amount of all that shit.
Propping up.
Yeah, is it propping up? Like, do you want to know you've made a mark? You've existed and produced.
Oh, look,
you've existed and done.
Some underpins know they've made a mark.
Well, fuck, there's that too, isn't it?
Look, realistic. We're on this planet for X amount of time, interacting with multiple other beings.
Well, there are other people here.
And the more positively we can impact these other beings and the more positively we can live our life, then the smoother the ride is and the better it is for everyone. And the bigger an arsehole you are, and the more you want to be a pig, and the more you want to take more than your share.
Oh, yeah.
The more you're
again, that's where you're going, what's your share?
Yes.
What's a valid share?
Yes.
What's more than your share?
Yes.
You should pay your fair share of tax.
Well,
what's the fair share?
Well,
what's the fair share of my earnings that I should give to somebody else? And who decides what that fair share is?
Well, certainly a muppet.
Without a doubt, it's a fucking muppet.
It's a muppet because we're being taxed to the moon for shit that we don't need to pay for.
Pay for shit that we don't want, to be in debt to people we don't know. I'm fairly sure.
Governed and
I'm fairly sure that Australia's in debt.
And to have all of that tax spent on shit that we don't want it spent on.
You look around the world, show me one country that's not in debt. Who the fuck are they all in debt to? Do the math, ladies and gentlemen. You find me a country on planet Earth that doesn't have a skyrocketing debt of some sort, and then please explain to me who the debt is to, because if every country's in debt, somebody's fucking in charge.
Somebody is owed that money.
Yes.
If you're playing Monopoly, someone has got all the motels. Someone has got a big pile of shit like that. If everyone else is on Struggle Street.
It's those sort of concepts that
100%. That's exactly what it's about.
And
there's all these special people who think they're a bit more special than others.
A massive percentage of. They talk about the 1%. It's the 1% of the 1% that's scary as fuck, and they're the ones who are pulling all the strings and making all the moves, and everybody else is just a bit part player.
Yes, and I think the sooner people realise that and disconnect from that whole.
Yeah, so you're on the disconnect from it. I'm from fucking connect and start fucking taking to these people with bats.
Yeah, but allegedly. You're the one who's not on council. I'm the one who is on council. Is actually doing something.
And I reckon a baseball bat in that room some weeks would probably be fairly effective.
Do you reckon I get a code of conduct?
Oh, mate. Well, look, if you saw what's going on in Nepal recently, I think there's going to be a hell of a lot more countries that are setting fire to politicians' houses. And
I think there's a hell of a lot of people who are becoming less satisfied with the management.
We discussed it here, and I can't remember the exact topic.
I'm less satisfied. I'm a resident and ratepayer of Temora Shire Council. Why can the mayor and an ex-mayor of Temora Shire Council park in 2-hour parking spots all fucking day? There you are. I'm disgruntled. Fair call. I'm disgruntled. I'm a resident and ratepayer of Temora Shire Council. What privileges? What entitles these special people to think that they can go and do that and park directly under the sign.
They can flout the rules that now good enough for me and not good enough for thee.
It's horseshit.
Of course, it's horseshit.
So that's where we're at, and that's just a micro example of the world.
We spoke a while back though about
that's a micro example of the world.
We spoke about an incident on a farm, I believe, up near Moree, if I'm right, where some council government stooge kept harassing a farmer until the farmer shot the bloke, chased him off his property,
and
shot
rightly
the bloke
or
dead.
wrongly, and how harassed this guy was. We don't
Well, whether or not the poor idiot who was there on behalf of the council / government / whatever was rightly right. He didn't deserve to be murdered, of course, but he would have been none the wiser that he's just been a fuckwit that shouldn't have been there because it's not his property. Go away. On the other side of it, I'm not going to condone the murder of it, but there's going to be more and more of this shit as these people continue to overreach and overreach and overreach. People are going to get fed up with this. People are going to get tired of it. People are going to start setting fire to politicians' houses like is happening in Nepal when they turn around and tell you that you can't look at the internet because we control what you're allowed to know. People are going to get the shits.
Even at a low level, and that sounds a little bit insightful what you're talking about, but I know that the conversations that are going to be had when families are trying to explain to their adolescent children that they can't access the internet because they're not 16, I think those adolescent children should be sent to Canberra for a sleepover at Parliament House. A sleepover at Elbows.
Fuck Elbow.
No,
I don't want him anywhere near my kids. I don't want him fucking even looking at them.
Just to express the Elbow.
But the thing with that is they're going to be using all of our metrics, all of our DNA, all of our fucking everything, which they already do to a degree.
They do.
They already do to a degree, but now it's government sanctioned. It's government mandated. It's very different to...
But that's what the whole thing, that's what AI is built on. That's what the whole matrix is built on.
Absolutely. But it's very different to voluntarily putting a password on your child's
and this
phone.
is the whole thing. Can we voluntarily disconnect?
No. Now, do you know one of the other things? Do you remember that My Government Health Record or whatever it is, right? I don't know if I'm not sure when it started, but I got wind of it and I looked into it and they were opting everybody in. So fucking helpful, these people. You don't worry about a thing. We're just going to put you on the system. Put you on the system, everything's going to be fucking dandy.
All your health records.
All your health records are going to be
in one really convenient place.
Exactly. Until you go to a doctor, and I've discovered this in recent times since I've spent a bit of time once again engaging with the medical profession during the birth of said child. Now, for this big government plan that they put everybody on automatically, you were allowed to opt out. I said in the form that said, fuck off, thanks. Now, I don't know what they've done or they haven't done with this My Health Record. What I do know is that they were selling it as it's going to make it so much easier. So the doctor will be able to type in Anthony Irvine of ABC and all your history will come. We'll know everything about you to make things so much more wonderful for you and us to treat you for your medical needs. It's going to be fucking beautiful. These poor doctors, and if there's any medical professionals watching, please clarify for me, has that improved a damn thing? Because from what I could tell over the last few months dealing with a lot of doctors, they don't have their fucking Arthur or Martha. They type in a name and they haven't got a clue. How many kids have you got? What are you fucking talking about? Isn't that on My Health Record? Where are you up to with this?
I haven't got time to read.
I was here last week. It should be in my file. Did you not put it in the file? That is a government thing that's all around the country and everybody can access. What did they do that for? Because it doesn't seem to be working. Now they're going to try and centralise your bank accounts and your identification and your ability to use this little contraption here. Your emails will be centralised. You'll have one card to do it all. You know, Elbow waving around his little Medicare card.
They're already doing it.
They're already doing it. But at the moment, if, for example, I haven't got my driver's licence on my phone, might have a hard copy driver's license if I have to really prove it in a pinch. If one bank account isn't working or a card gets lost, I can use my phone. I've actually got multiple options. What happens when that's no longer valid and you don't have a card, you have your digital ID and it's all on one little contraption and then it's turned off? They turn it off and you go, well...
What happens when you're in an area that doesn't have interweb.
That too. What happens though when your entire life? So we're sitting here today. We're on the digital ID scheme. You're not allowed outside your 15-kilometre radius because climate change. You know that when you travel, you cause fucking climate change. And you go, I want something to eat. We've just done this podcast. Mayor Ricky sent Mayor fucking Albo a SOS. These people said naughty things about you, my lord, commandant. All right, into the little computer they go. Black.
They go in the column of not special people.
Not special people. Worse than not special. The outlaw non-special. All of a sudden you go down, and this is the only tool you've got.
Yeah.
To pay for your fuel. That's not happening. You go down. Oh shit! Well,
that's what I mean. But people are putting themselves into that.
Oh,
I can't help them.
Well,
I can't stop them. They're rushing headlong.
I'm hoping to wake enough of them up.
They're rushing headlong down there.
They are. But if I've gone from getting 400 or 500 views per video to getting on average now about 1,000 to 2,000 to I think there's 4 or 5 there now, 60, 70, 80,000. There's even a couple there at 100 and plus thousand videos. They're the ones I've been doing recently. I haven't changed my message in 20 years. I'm that fucking boring, people. Now, are those algorithms and numbers changing to the degree that they're changing because I'm saying something different? Or is what I'm saying starting to resonate with more people who are going, holy fuck? The amount of people who have said to me recently, fuck, why haven't you ever run for Parliament? Why don't you run for Parliament? I'm, what? Okay, here's the next thing. Now you need to do your homework on who the fuck I am. It's not like I don't start every video with an introduction because I'm not hiding from anybody. I'm fucked if I'm going to hide. But are those numbers changing dramatically by some freak of nature? Because I could go back through.
No, I just think people are starting to catch up. And the worst part about being a thought leader is you find yourself isolated in front of the pack. And it's quite a lonely place to be. You're over the horizon. They don't even understand what you're talking about.
Well, you know, you'd remember when you started first talking to me about this politics. I'm thinking about getting into it. Mate, it's a fucking hard slog and it's going to hurt. It's going to be painful. It's going to da-da-da-da-da. I've been proven right.
Yes, but even back to that, I didn't go into politics because I had a mad passion about
where the joint was at.
I just knew that a bunch of gangsters had shafted the shit out of me, and they were shafting a heap of other people, and I wasn't just going to put up with it.
And they're still shafting a heap of people,
and they're still shafting me.
To do that. Yeah, absolutely.
But
I mean, as an example,
I'll keep going as long as I've got.
Spin Doctors last week sitting at 1.2 thousand viewers.
Yes.
You know, we don't advertise heavily or anything like that. Mr. Ribbons of TMFM, who in his rant rattled off the 5 people who listened to his show. His little rant there on my fucking Facebook is at 1.5 thousand viewers. Now that's ridiculous. I did a cow video where I literally talked shit at cows in the paddock that are at 1.3, 1.4 thousand. Now that's getting silly. Now, obviously, there's other ones there that are in the 50s and 60s and whatever thousands. But the demographic's gone from sort of here to now there's this many people that are looking consistently. There's this many people that are sharing it. Like, you can see the differences in the numbers of shares of the videos, which is fucking important, guys. If you like the message, you've got to have the balls to at least share it. Because that's where it's at now.
Look, I'm telling you, mate, I don't give a fuck if there's only 10 people who watch this once a week. If they're the right 10 people.
We've already proven that because we started doing it. There was 5 or 10 people who'd watch it and you'd look at it and go, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. And I don't really care if Nigel Judd or Rick Furman watch this or they don't watch this. What I do want people to understand is that there's people in our community who act as though the law doesn't apply to them. Yes. And these are the examples of those people. And I'm telling you, it's no different in the council chambers when we're making decisions or when they're allocating certain privileges or funds or making decisions on expenditure of your money
Yeah.
your money, that's how they think.
I get that side of it because
Mm.
I sat there with you for, before any momentum was starting to go, and I could
Well,
see the momentum. I can feel
You
it.
had the platform.
Yeah.
There was no look. I ran social media stuff, and I've been active in social media. Look, I find social media frustrating in that it's so short term.
Mm.
The one thing that I have got some satisfaction in is that everything that I've posted is still there.
Yes.
None of it's been taken down. It's
Yeah.
still there. It's a record of my position and my statements.
Yeah.
And it's a running record. And I think that's important.
Yep.
And like you said, what you've got is there's
People can go back and find videos of me 5-10 years ago.
Yeah, nothing's been pulled. Nothing's been
saying
pulled,
exactly well, anything that's been pulled by powers higher than I. YouTube, I know, have removed some of the old Resolute TV videos that we did. Some of them have been pulled off the platform, but
I still.
But I mean, if for the listeners out there, if you went back and typed in Resolute TV and went through some of those old videos,
With the same message.
Same message.
Yeah.
Message hasn't changed.
But people like take Fred Ferner at Coolman, for example.
Yep.
Fred's only talking about special treatment being afforded to some people and not others, the same as I'm talking about special treatment being afforded to some people and not others, the same as Andrew Thaler talks about special treatment being afforded to some people and not others over at
Snowy Monera.
Yes. So, we're the first wave on the beach. We'll create a beachhead. There'll be more to come. And as you're finding, there are.
Oh, look, there are people who I've noticed that have been sharing some of these videos of mine that I'm like, I don't remember you liking me very much when we met years ago. Maybe a few minds are being changed.
And even we've had those experiences where people have been coming up and they've been saying, look, I'm not going to come out publicly and say it, but I really do support you.
I was in a local show, obviously the last 2 weeks I've been off.
Yeah.
With said baby. So I've probably spent more time in Temora in the last 2 weeks than over the last 10 years, to be fair.
During the day,
like in business hours. And, and we went into a shop and one of the ladies sort of just, tell you what, you're making some very good points on that little program. I was, no, you're a watcher. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah. It's just, it's just interesting.
Well, like I say,
I think it's starting to become a lot more real for people than they realise previously.
People are starting to see it. And like I say, there's no more blatant example of it than today when you can see one councillor who's the longest serving councillor in New South Wales parked under a 2-hour parking sign all fucking day.
Yeah.
And the mayor of Temora Shire Council parked under another 2-hour parking sign all fucking day.
It's a good thing I'm not the ranger.
And they might as well have just had a picture on the front of their cars going, fuck you people.
We do what we want.
We're special. We don't care.
Yeah.
And the ranger was across the road.
Do you know who I am?
Yes. And that's the putrid aspect of it. These rules aren't for everyone.
No.
They will apply them
at their leisure. When it's deemed appropriate by them at that time for somebody who may or may not be an appropriate peasant.
Discriminately. They will discriminate.
Yes.
They will apply these rules when they see fit.
Yeah.
They will discriminate. And that is absolutely disgusting in this society that we're purportedly living in, the friendly town. The friendly town where as long as you're a part of the gang, we'll be friendly. But if you're not in the gang, we'll be very unfriendly. No, seriously. And that is...
I don't know. They're always friendly to me when they see me.
Oh, really?
Well, they have to be because I go, hey, how you going?
But is it...
No, it's not
genuine.
No, God, no, not genuine at all. It's fuck.
Yeah,
oh, shit.
Yeah, so that's...
But I do take a bit of enjoyment in watching them squirm. It's look,
I just take great.
Pardon me.
I just drove down the street this morning. I got the papers and I thought, I know that these guys are going on a tour of the Shire, and I know what the itinerary is, and I know that they won't be in town. So unless they've got someone teed up to move their cars, those cars are going to be
there all day.
all day. And sure enough, those cars were there all day, and sure enough, they were parked directly under 2-hour parking signs in the CBD.
Of course they were.
And of course they were, because they were, one's a mayor and one's an ex-mayor, and of course they're so special.
It's important to be special.
You know, an average Joe side rider in town might cop a code of conduct for saying something about it. You know, and they'll have to go and probably issue some parking fines to cover the expenditure.
That'll be very important. Yes.
So that's the stupidity, and that's the absurdity, and that is the absolute base level corruption. And it doesn't sound like much, but that is corruption. And if it's corrupt there, and if that's their mindset, don't think that they're not corrupt
It's
in
not
other
corrupt
spaces.
in other ways. It's like the old saying: if you can't save 10 cents in a dollar, you're not going to save 10 grand in
a million.
A million. Yeah,
Absolutely.
just, you know, these little habits build up in you. You are what you are to a point.
This is what you are.
Yes, that's right. If you're going to break, I know which rules I'm comfortable with breaking, and I know which consequences I'm happy enough to cop. I know where my standards lie on A, B, and C. I know. They know too what they will and won't do.
Well, why would you risk your reputation to be so, what would you say, disrespectful of the community?
It's a bit like that. It's a bit like that.
It is. I believe it is. If you're going to issue fines to people in your own community for the same act and then not stick to the same rules, I think it's disgusting.
I think you're a hypocrite and full of shit.
Yeah. So, look,
that's where it's at. I think we better get better. Yeah, it has been fun. I apologise for the hay fever, guys.
That's okay.
This time of year, it's just fuck. The amount of antihistamines I go through, and they do 2 tenths on it. I might as well just not have them at all, to be honest. But guys, what I am very, very seriously asking you all to do is to share not just my stuff. Share this. Share if you find anything online that you go, fuck, that makes a lot of sense. Crap, I'm really worried about it. Share it. You'll find 5 people who will support it and go, oh, you're right. Hell, if I like it, I'll share it on your behalf with you.
And even better still, look, the online stuff is all well and good, but actually live the shit.
Yeah.
Stop being hypocrites. Stop being scared. Get out and start making real change in your own communities.
Look, I can tell you, they put a pretty big gun to my head this week, or last week, wasn't it? It was last week I said.
Yes.
You know, there was a little bit of an attempt to slow me down. And, you know, fortunately, I did what I usually do. And I went, sorry, that's not how it's going to be. I won't be removing any more political videos. I won't be doing anything of the sort. And I can't be owned to any degree.
If I'm going to get a code of conduct, if I'm going to get kicked out of council for pointing out that the mayor and an ex-mayor parked in a 2-hour parking spot for 8 hours today, then the whole system is completely broken.
Well, that's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And I look at it all the same way. By me telling the truth.
By me pointing out their shortcomings, I'm the devil. Well, the system is broken.
I'll take that role. Not down at TMFM. Apparently, there are enough devils down there.
There's some devil shit going on.
I personally think council should return to issuing and prosecuting their own fines, toss the contracts with Revenue New South Wales, and keep every cent raised in our communities. That's council.
They do issue the fines, and then they just send it to Revenue New South Wales for the collection, for the big boot approach.
The big boot approach, the go and fuck right off approach is where I'm at with it. But no, look, guys, you know, it is important to, you know, have that courage, take those steps. I guess fortunately for some of you guys very new to the space, there's a couple of us wily old veterans around who will at least hold your hand through it. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for watching, believing. For those of you who are watching because you're hoping to catch us out because you don't like us, kiss my big fat ass.
See you next week.